We are live at 11:05 on BC. This is Spirit Cars, and we're here. We're building cars. We had a bit of a snafu on Dorothy. We changed out to some really cool. It's a Ford motor, which is we don't use Ford motors as often as we use Chevy motors. And we put a serpentine belt system on the front of this one. Really cool looking, really nice. Love it. Awesome. It's about 2 inches, sticks out about 2 inches farther than what it would normally, what we've done before on the Ford motors in the 32 car. So, putting it all together yesterday, we're designing and doing, and I think I put up on the headline, it's design engineering, you got prototype engineering, you got mechanical engineering, you got production engineering. In a lot of ways, we try to make the cars the same. So when I say production engineering, whatever it takes to, if this, there's a jig right here. So this will flip up, bolt it on. You can kind of see the back side of this. It'll locate this. So we want this located here for a triangulated rear end. I want it there every time. I just know it fits with a 9-inch. It is what it is. So I would call that production engineering in the jig building and stuff like that. Design engineering, I mean, we want, hot rodding to me, simple is the key. Make it look like it's just simple, so clean, so smooth. So that's one thing. Mechanical engineering, if I'm off 1.5 inches in the front here, I've got to look through the process and to realize, wait a minute, I got an AC going on here. Sometimes you don't have AC going on, but if you got AC going on, then you got to have a condenser in front of your radiator. And then does your grill shell fit on top of that? Does your grill fit in the grill shell on top of that? Does your fan fit behind it? We very seldom use a mechanical fan. We use an electric fan. It's a lot safer. So does all that work? Can with the type of headers you're using, can you come around and get your steering in? And there's just a whole list of things you need to worry about. And then, I'm not even talking about mechanical engineering to the sense, how does the transmission work? Or how does the motor work? So, a lot of things to think about. So sometimes you just gotta take a deep breath. Sometimes I feel like kind of my main role around here is I'm supposed to be the design engineering guy. I'm actually the retired unpaid consultant collecting my Social Security and wanting to hang out on the porch watching the goats, but that ain't working out so good. But I'm kind of production manager, so I've got to look at you can swing around here and see we got some stuff kind of going on everywhere. And then this is just one building of 3 buildings. So I sort of feel like, and don't get this wrong as an ego thing, but one of them chess guys that knows how to play the game pretty well, that plays with about 20 people at once. So you make your move here, all right, fine. Then you look at your next table or your next board that you're gonna play, you make the move against that one, you make the move. So I kind of feel like my day goes like that. I show up here, I don't necessarily build the whole project, but I do, ultimately, I'm responsible that everybody's happy. And one thing I say around here all the time is, the goal is for everybody to have a big happy smile when the project starts and to have a big happy smile when we deliver the project. So that is the goal. So when we say we build dreams, we don't build cars. Sometimes it's a challenge to keep that dream a happy dream and not a nightmare. So it is what it is. No big deal. We had to move the motor back a little bit. Moved it back 1.5 inches on Dorothy here, and part of the issue was we have a powder coated frame on that one, which we don't do a lot, but we did, and it's done. It's looking good. It's looking great. Got the suspension together. We were not going to take that apart. So I've got a removable cross member. This is a cross member that bolts in, and you can kind of see on this one right here. This is a 32 frame upside down. So the cross member will go in, and you can kind of see this is on the production engineering, this would be the mount for a Chevy transmission. So you line up the holes. Then there's a couple brackets or not brackets, but tubes that'll basically weld off the end of here, and it'll have a piece like that so that it can bolt together. We know where that goes. It is the same. It goes every time. Well, this was already bolted up to the frame, and I not want to change the frame at all. So what we did, we wanted to move it back 1.5 inches and lower it 1/2 inch. So we moved it back the distance of that, boxed it all in, so we got plenty of strength there. Moved the bracket from being on the edge down, worked out to be just 1/2. Had to slightly modify our bracket for the mounting for the transmission, so that's going to go on there. Fits snug. We've got a little bit of slot where it bolts onto the transmission itself. So once we get into the car, this will bolt up to the transmission right here, and it does give us a little bit of movement back and forth. Not a big deal. We already got the bottom of the car painted and looking good. I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to clean up firewalls. I didn't want to do anything. So I say a lot of times that there's no one way to do something, no one right way, but there are some wrong ways. So we want to avoid the wrong ways and then figure out the best right way to do it. So moving it back, my transmission tunnel, I had clearance, but not a lot. So this is a low car shifter. The corner of the shifter was out like this. It came out square. So the fix was pretty simple. We just went ahead and I notched the corner, took it out, and we just remade it. We welded it, structured it, and it's actually probably stronger than it was originally. These are generally this color right here. We decided to paint them both black to be consistent on both sides. It looks like it belongs. We're real tight, but not. So this had some ribs going all the way up on it, up in here. So we just took the ribs off. Not a big deal. I mean, one, you wouldn't see it. Structurally, we didn't do anything to hurt the transmission. Sometimes you'll have to do that, take some casting marks off the side of a motor, just to maybe get a steering column to come through on the left-hand side or some stuff like that. So just look at the overall picture. Make sure you're not going to change your mechanical engineering to the point where you're going to lose functionality. Always look at it in design, and in a lot of ways, I'm going to call this kind of both a mechanical and a design. I wanted it to look smooth, clean, even though this is all hidden. I want it to look smooth and clean. I mean, we wanted this is tucked in. So by design, it looks clean. It looks smooth. And by mechanical, it fits. It goes where it goes. It's there. And as far as production engineering, I will know next time that we're putting serpentine belts on a Ford. We're not going to change our jig because we don't do it very often, but I'll know, all right, this is kind of an ad-lib thing, move it back a little bit. And so we'll have that. So a couple hours, we're back in track. After lunch, we're going to go ahead and put it back in the car. Had a really good day yesterday. Got a new guy, Jason, who's really big on the electronic side of things, which is where we've got to go in this industry, I believe. I mean, we can stay with carbureted, and it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of fun too when you just go turn the key and your car starts, and it doesn't matter if you're up in the mountains or you're down in the valley, or there's a lot of issues that you don't have to get in the car and pump it twice and go halfway down before you even turn the key. I mean, that's a lot of us grew up in the old days, and that's how it was, but a lot of people didn't. My camera person is shaking her head. You just turn the key and better go. Do you even worry about keeping oil in your car?
Not in mine, but I used to have to in my mom's car.
It's an old car where you had to keep filling it, but there's lights and things, so anyway. That's where we're at. We're moving ahead with this one. We're moving ahead with Dorothy. We're moving ahead with Bonnie. We're moving ahead with, what else? We got Tweety going on over there. I got to do some adjustments on Goldie. Working on Brad's car. We're going to push that ahead. This is a 34. Well, let's just show this, just because. We don't do rumble seats, but he wanted a rumble seat, so I got that figured out. It's working pretty good. We're putting a modern Hemi in here, and multiple times I just needed more room. I needed more room. I needed more room, so I made minor modifications. I kind of blended between design and mechanical engineering on this one. I didn't want to make gaping gaps, big holes, just cut it all out just so it'll fit. I wanted it to be tight, I wanted it to be clean, I wanted it to look like it belonged in there. We had to change up the entire serpentine belt system. The compressor for the air conditioner, it came up on the bottom. So I found a flat one, an old GM one that we were able to put in there, and just we changed everything around for the serpentine. I haven't put the belt on, but I've got it on since. Don't freak out if it don't work. It's under control. It'll all happen. I mean, have a plan. We talked about having a master plan yesterday. I do have a plan for your hot rod. Work with people. Maybe we talked about the body of Christ yesterday. I think we did. So different people have different skills, but have a master plan. Work with people that have the skills to accomplish what you want to do. Talk to people too that have done it. I talked to somebody yesterday, and I don't know if they watched the video or not, but I did recommend to them. They have a spirit car from before, and it's a Coca-Cola themed car. Now they're building a John Deere themed C cab that's going to be a hit and miss motor with an ice cream maker thing. I don't know, it's pretty cool. And I said, you need to get on the Spirit Cars Owners and Builders group for Facebook. Man, I like to watch that kind of stuff. So the customer kept telling me about he wanted to do this. They built the first one. It was the builder for the customer. He was going to take a 23 because it fit the guy really well, and he wanted that. He was going to blend the C cab to the back of it. And I kept, well, okay, and so we discussed it, and I told him the easier way and how to do it, and he was pretty set on what he wanted to do. So he listened to me patiently about discouraging him, and then he come back after I give him he knew what he was going to do, and even after all my discouragement, he's like, okay, I want a 23 with 2 doors in it and the insert, and I want basically a gutted C cab, and he's going to make dual doors on the back. So I said, well, okay, we'll send you 2 doors. That way when you cut them, you can put 2 together, and it's going to be a little bit wider too. But he had a plan, and like I told him, it was all done. Our goal is not to sell parts and pieces for cars that sit in the garage and frustrate people and never turn into a car. Our goal is to see these things built. So after the conversation with him, I'm excited to see where this thing's going to turn into and what the other one looked like. And there's some cars out there. We did one, might have been this year or the end of last year. They put 2 Hemis in it, front to back. It was I haven't seen a picture of the finished car, but I've seen it we mocked it up here, and so I mean, it's pretty crazy. And they connected the motors together, and I mentioned to them, I said, probably the best thing to look at is in that truck pulling, or the tractor pulling. I see a lot of motors front to back. Oh yeah, there was a company that makes a connector to put them together. So work with people who've done it before. It works out good that way. We're going to go to the end here. It's Thursday. We got Thursday and one more day. We got the holidays coming up. I can't wait. I'm going to do some fishing. My brother's on his way down. He may be here by now. And we're just going to kind of relax for a little bit. I'm thinking about relaxing for a little bit because sometimes we get a little stressed out, get a little wound up. It's like a lot going on. Under control, not the problem. So I got thinking about this scripture, which is always a good one. In fact, you probably see this one on refrigerators all over Christian households or in wall plaques. I bet you can go to Hobby Lobby and find one with at least part of this. Um, have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might he increases strength. Even youths will faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But they who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So don't stress. God's got it under control. He's a God he is the God. He is the God of gods. He has created all things, and we belong to him. We're children of the God, and so not to worry. We can be like, how cool would that be? Like, just stretch your wings out and cruise. Just cruise. You don't even have to flap them. You just play the wind currents. So anyway, I'm going to fly around here today a little bit more. Today's still early. We will see you tomorrow, and we may have some, I don't know what we'll show tomorrow, but we'll show something.